What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I'm talking about another one from Paramount. This is Daddy's Home 2. Um, this pretty much picks up where the first movie left off. Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg have kind of made peace and are at kind of an uneasy alliance, but they're getting along. Everything seems to be going well. But Christmas is coming up, and the kids are kind of tired of, having to do two Christmases. So they decide, hey, we're going to have a together Christmas, and they're going to really have a together Christmas because Mel Gibson and John Lithgow, who are the grandfathers, they arrive. Mel Gibson immediately starts pushing buttons because he doesn't like, how Mark Wahlberg is kind of having to ask the co-dad for, permission to do certain things with the kids. He just doesn't approve of him, sharing the leadership role in the family. And so he starts to kind of push some buttons and try to up the tension and cause problems between them. And of course, it eventually works. During all that, there's also subplots that involve John Lithgow's relationship issues. One of the kids is trying to get their first kiss. Another kid ends up getting drunk for the first time right before a living nativity. And then there's a very minor subplot involving the moms and some jealousy. And this is pretty much the same movie as the first movie. It pretty much retells the same story. I will say this, I still don't think this is a great comedy or anything, but I do think this one's better than the original just because, for my taste, it's got less Mark Wahlberg because you're bringing in John Lithgow and Mel Gibson, who have prominent roles in the movie, and just by default, that means Mark Wahlberg either A, has less screen time, or B, is forced to work with better, more colorful, better actors than himself, and that's the case here. So Mel Gibson and John Lithgow steal this movie without question. Mel Gibson is awesome as this, no-nonsense, old-school, weathered, haggard old man, and John Lithgow is like this just halcyon, eternal optimist, just turned up to the nth degree. So they're just really cool, especially when they interact with each other, at least in some funny parts. So I think this movie is actually better and funnier than the original, but not by much. It's still a very simple, basic comedy, but in this case, you've got some really big, talented people involved, and so that kind of elevates the material. But it's still just kind of a forgettable, like I said, just basic comedy. But I do think it has some funny dialogue in it. Seeing Mel Gibson and John Lithgow interact was great, and seeing them kind of interact with everybody else was really fun too. They're just two really colorful characters in this movie. I think they were cast perfectly. Will Ferrell is okay, but I'm a big Will Ferrell fan, and he just doesn't have much to do here. It just seems like it's kind of going through the motions of what, of the stuff from the first movie. And then Mark Wahlberg, again, if you're a fan of his, I'm sure you'll like his performance better than I did. I thought he was, once again, just like a vacuum that sucked all the fun and humor out of every scene. But that's just my opinion. I can understand why, some people might like him or think that he's funny. It's just, for me, he was just completely dead weight in this movie. So if you like the original, odds are you'll probably like this one. But even if you didn't like the original, if you like Mel Gibson and John Lithgow, it's worth seeing it just for the two of them. And again, it's just kind of a harmless movie. It's not terrible. It's not great either. It's just kind of watchable if you like the people involved. And there's not a lot of even passable recent Christmas movies. So at least this is somewhat somewhat watchable just from that perspective. But definitely Mel Gibson and John Lithgow are the reasons to watch this movie. So I can't give it a wholehearted recommendation because I still don't think it's all that great of a comedy. But if you're a fan of Will Ferrell, if you're a fan of Mel Gibson, John Lithgow, or the original Daddy's Home, I think you could do a lot worse than this movie. I think they start to move it in the right direction. I have no idea if they're going to make any more. But if they continue to push the co-dads into the background, I think the series can only improve from here. So that's my review of Daddy's Home 2. I hope you liked it. If you did, you can check out a full review of Daddy's Home 2 and the original Daddy's Home at my website, markfusion.com. There's also a video review in the playlist for the original Daddy's Home. So I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at markfusion, as well as Patreon if you want exclusive content. But like I always say, the best way you can help me out is to hit that sub button. It's free, it's easy, and keeps all my drama to a minimum. So I don't have to go off the deep end or anything. So thank you so much for watching these videos. I greatly appreciate it. And like I said, if you like the videos, please do hit that sub button. I would greatly appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you soon.